What's going on, guys? Bexio back, and today we had a brand new video looking in the past predictions of Shiba Inu that I made, how they played out to be absolutely correct, even though people didn't want to hear it at the time. And we'll see, where it can go from here. But before we jump into that, if you are not subscribed, make sure you smash that sub button because we are on the road to 1,000 subscribers. But let's jump right into Shiba Inu. All of the hype was massive when it was running up, made people lots of money if you were lucky enough to get in early or be on the team of Shiba. This right here is my tweet. I made like a little chart thing of it to map it out where it is. And this was where I tweeted. It was a little bit before the peak here, probably like around this area, and then ran up, so it ran up after I tweeted it, and that's what people are trying to say. During that time, we're just saying you're mad you didn't get in on this in time and this and that, but you just got to look at things objectively. And you can see here I said Shiba come crashing down and never recover, and it just happens every single time with these hype meme coins. And I said my guess is it will flip Dogecoin and the hype will die there. So, and the reason I said that is the whole thing in marketing of Shiba was this right here, that experts weigh in on the Dogecoin killer. That was the entire thing it was marketed on, the Dogecoin killer. It was, did you miss out on Dogecoin? Don't miss out on Shiba. That was the entire marketing plan for them. And it had its hiccups and things with like this saying, the co-founder Vitalik Buterin, he got a bunch of Shiba and ended up selling it. It was a weird time. But when you go directly off of hype, and once you lose the hype, or you achieve that goal that's set out for this hype coin, a meme coin, then it gets very hard to continue that hype and continue pushing forward and getting some sort of adoption or anything. And that's what we were seeing during this time was, it was just, it pushed the hype, and we saw obviously this volatility, and it continued to climb up a little bit, but ultimately came crashing down and is right now much lower than it was. Almost, this 409 price, and right now it's like the 404. We can see it right here. This was the 27th, so the exact same day that this was when I was fighting with Dogecoin, and we saw that I said it flipped Dogecoin. It achieved its goal of being the Dogecoin killer, which you can see right here. This was the screenshot at the time. It was the 0.00008 price for Shiba, but the market cap is what's the thing that matters here. 31.5 billion compared to 31.3 billion, so it is higher than Dogecoin. Once this happened, it was very hard to continue the hype. Everybody knew, everyone looking from the outside in, or who are like experienced or trading it or knew what they were kind of doing, were just saying, this is probably it. And a lot of people probably got out, but a lot more people also continue getting in. The amount of tweets I saw during this time saying we're about to take down another zero, and it's just crazy that people think like that now. It's like we got to get rid of zeros with the quadrillion supply crypto. It's weird that's the way people think now, but I guess it just kind of makes sense. People like things looking like they're cheap even though they're not. But this is where the hype really did die for it. And then another tweet a few days later, I had talking about Dogecoin and Sheep, comparing thing that is very similar, and this is the red box time period that I'm kind of looking at. You can see the run up to a peak, and then this dropped, spiked up, and then rounded, and then dropped, spiked up, and then this part is a little rounded here. And we saw basically the same things play out with how Shiba looks now. It had a little bit of a recovery again, and then ultimately resumed its downtrend. Then people think recovery, ultimately resumes its downtrend. You zoom out long term, and you see Dogecoin completely just kind of falling off. And we're seeing the same thing happening with Shiba Inu right here. You see the price under the 404 cents mark. And you look at it here, you just see the continued downtrend. It's just being obliterated. Once the hype is gone on something like this, it is impossible to try and get that hype back. Once people lose interest in meme coins, they die off all the time. This is what happens with them, and it just doesn't come back. The hype doesn't come back, and you can see that in this chart for Shiba right now, and even if you look at Dogecoin, the hype for it at the peak, obviously it was 68, almost 70 cents per Dogecoin, and then this collapse happened. And you see, it never recovered. It never went back to around this 70 cents area. It was always collapsed, and it's been around the 20 cent to it rallied a little bit to 35 there, came back down though, and right now we're at 20 cents again. So the big thing here is looking at the hype and seeing it die and disappear. This was massive hype, peak hype, and then you see it disappear. And then compare this up to something like Bitcoin, where this was where Dogecoin, like massive hype was. Bitcoin was doing fine. The whole market was doing great. And then Bitcoin got weak. And then we saw this collapse, get cut in half basically from all time highs. And you saw the whole market suffer. And that's where the hype really died with Dogecoin. The whole market's suffering. And it's been around where it's been low. I mean, it got to 17 cents. And it's around 20 right now. And you compare that to Bitcoin that got to 29,000 and is at 50, almost 55,000 right now, and it set a new all-time high. So you see how hype and these meme coins isn't a long-term winning strategy. It can be a trade, it can make you lots of money, but if you don't get out in time, or if you get greedy, if you get caught holding the bag, there's a lot of things that can happen that it can negatively impact you and can actually cause you to lose lots of money, especially if you were successful on one. There's a lot of people who were successful in getting lucky with Dogecoin and kind of buying in lower and making a lot of money, but then they think they can do it again, and they were unsuccessful with Shiba, or timed it wrong, or got in on the peak hype and rode it all the way down to getting cut in half. So it's just something to keep in mind, especially you can see it on these charts with Bitcoin. Obviously, the whole market got weak, but then Bitcoin rallied to set a new all-time high. And what did Dogecoin do? It rallied from 17 cents to 20 cents right now. So it's just not, it doesn't work the same way. And you can just see, like, Dogecoin didn't, a double in price would be what, like almost 40 cents. And it got close to that, not really, but 34 cents. So almost this period of time. But then it's ultimately ran all the way back down. You just look at Bitcoin, and it's a different story. 29,000 to 69,000, like over doubling, and then you see this correction right now, and it brings the rest of the market, keeps it around where they were before. Same thing with SHIB. We've been seeing this whole thing kind of play out in the same way as Dogecoin. You see the slide down, and then it might find a place where it kind of hovers at. Because there's going to be people who sell to themselves it's going to be the greatest investment known to mankind. I'm not sure how SHIB works in terms of supply, if it has like incoming supply every day like Bitcoin, or if it just released, has just all of it out there, or what's going on. But it's just not worth a long-term hold. The meme coins and things can be traded. They can make money trading it, trying to time the market and getting a little bit lucky. But holding it long term, thinking that's going to revolutionize the world, is just something that doesn't happen. And then just to put that into a little bit of perspective here on why these coins that people think are going to change the world and make them filthy rich and do all this stuff, is not the right case. Because look at these coins from 2013, where Bitcoin was $131 a coin. It just broke the $1 billion market cap. But if you look at all of these other coins, you probably only recognize Litecoin, and Litecoin isn't even doing that hot today. Obviously, it's a lot higher today than it was in 2013, but it is quickly falling off the charts. It is not number 2. It's not in the top 10. I don't even think it's in the top 15 anymore. But looking at all these coins, Namecoin, Peercoin. Peercoin was a coin everyone thought was going to be fantastic. The next Bitcoin is going to do great things. It's nowhere to be found now. Novacoin, Terracoin, Devcoin, Freecoin, Feathercoin, all these coins, and nothing. None of them are here anymore, except for if you want to say Litecoin, and that's even like falling very hard. It's not number 2 anymore. So it's just something to keep in mind. All of these coins and things that people think is going to make them rich, it's going to change the world, it's going to do all of this good things over a longer period of time. There's been one winner proven, and it's Bitcoin. And then when Ethereum came on, Ethereum has been a pretty good second place kind of crypto to keep that second spot. And when you go over long periods of time, the gains in crypto, the vast majority of them are made from Bitcoin and Ethereum, not altcoins. So you can trade them, you can try and time the market, and you will get burned sometimes. And if you get burned more than you actually make anything, then there's your problem. But when looking at long-term things, they're just not in there to stay. That's how I was just on the right side of Sheeb and kind of predicted the downfall or the move down from Sheeb. It's just something that's super obvious when you're looking from the outside. And I'd be lying if I was saying that I didn't have any interest in getting any Sheeb. Like the media and FOMO at that time was so massive, but you can't go in on that because that's how you get wrecked so badly. So it's just long term. I don't see the potential there for all these meme coins and things, especially when you look at it. It's based on Ethereum. Why don't you just want to own Ethereum instead of trying to pick these altcoin winners? It's like when you compare something else, it just doesn't make sense. Why don't you want to own the thing that everyone needs to make their coins work instead of trying to pick which one might win something in a short term? But that's going to do it for this video, guys. As always, don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers. And I'll see you guys in my next video.